From downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at 11 starts now.
Breaking right now, you're looking live at I-96 in Brighton Township, where traffic only getting by on the shoulder. A semi has crashed into the overpass, so the freeway is going to stay closed until crews can demolish the damaged bridge. We will show you how to get around it coming up.
But we begin with a developing story from Oakland University, where the school is putting out the alert tonight for a man who sexually assaulted a student. That story tops our news tonight at 11. The student came forward and told police about her horrifying ordeal Sunday night. Sexual assault occurred near the Elliott Tower on the main campus, and Mara McDonald is there live tonight. Mara.
Devin, good evening to you, and I want to show you something. That is Elliott Tower that you see behind me. It is one of the most recognizable landmarks on this campus. It's also one of the busiest, which just tells you that the guy who pulled this stunt really isn't too afraid of being seen. It's one of the most well-traveled spots right in the heart of OU's suburban campus. But Sunday morning, around 12:30, a student says she was walking near Elliott Tower when a guy pulled down his pants and pulled her on top of him.
It was a huge shock when I heard about this because it's very unusual. But like they say, there are predators everywhere and people should be aware.
That student was able to break free of him and took off. He kept following her and grabbing her. She got into a residence hall, which she could not get access to. She came forward to campus police today, and the OUPD sent out an email alert to students.
I was like, what is going on? Like, I've never really heard of too many crazy things going on campus, and this was probably really scary. This is scary for me to hear because I walk on campus by myself sometimes. The guy they're looking for is described as white, about 5'6", with a slim build, brown hair and blue eyes. He was wearing a white shirt and shorts. The students say while it's unsettling, it's better to know and give their campus police credit for keeping them up to speed.
They send out alerts right away. They have an escort service at night, so if someone wants to talk to them, they will be on the phone with you or they will be right next to you walking you to your car.
Back here live, campus police have made no arrests yet. They are still looking and say if you have any idea who this person might be, they'd really like to hear from you. We're live on the campus of Oakland University tonight. I'm Mara McDonald, Local 4.
All right, Mara, now to breaking news this evening. Eastbound I-96 closed after a semi crashes into the Pleasant Valley overpass during the evening rush. Jermont Terry there live tonight. A morning driver is going to have to find a different route to get to work, Jermont.
Yeah, Devin, it's not just the morning drivers. Likely the evening commute on Thursday as well will be affected by this. Interstate 96 eastbound shut down. Traffic is only moving in the shoulder here. If you take a look down here, I want to show you, this is what this semi originally hit. That's the actual bridge sign that's on the side of the road tonight. It's impossible to miss the delays.
It's like a parking lot out there.
The detours.
It was backed up 96 as far as I could see.
And danger lurking underneath the Pleasant Valley Bridge along eastbound I-96 in Brighton.
What's going on?
A truck traveling on the interstate hit a bridge sign, tearing it down. But the semi kept driving, bending several steel beams underneath the overpass.
It's going to take a while to replace that one. That's a whole redo. So
doesn't look good.
No, sure doesn't.
And it's not good. Traffic crawled along eastbound 96 Wednesday night.
Truck after truck after truck.
Yeah.
It's a mess.
Those fortunate enough to avoid this now are gassing up, but they are worried what the morning commute will bring.
They have to be somewhere at 9, and it's already congested going in, but this is going to even add further to it.
Probably another 10 to 15. So
that's what you're hoping for.
Yes. Well, yeah, but then you get back up because everyone's going to be doing that. So yeah, you're probably right. 20 to 30 minutes.
Wow. Wow. Not the morning you want, right?
Right. No, sure isn't.
It's unclear if the damage will require a full bridge repair or if it can be fixed in sections. What is clear, pack patience for the next 24 hours, if not longer.
Yeah, I call it a real big mess, and be glad that you don't have to go into Wixom or that way or downtown. That's what everybody out here uses.
And the late word tonight from MDOT is that they will demolish the bridge. Again, that's going to take place tomorrow evening at 8 o'clock. So the morning commute will be affected by this, with traffic only moving along the shoulder. But come tomorrow evening, when they start this process, that could even affect the evening commute more than the morning commute. We'll stay on top of the story and have details available on clickondetroit.com. For now, reporting live along eastbound 96, Jermont Terry, Local 4.
All right, Jermont, so a mess ahead. Be sure to wake up with Local 4 News today. For traffic updates, we've got them every 10 minutes on the 4s beginning at 4:30 a.m.
We are learning new information tonight about the children involved in a shooting at an in-home daycare. 2 boys were accidentally shot by another boy inside this home in Dearborn. Neighbors tell us the homeowner is a hunter. Police removed long rifles and other guns from the home. Sources tell Local 4 the children involved are all believed to be 3 years old. The 2 who were shot have been upgraded to serious condition. One of them was shot in the head.
A high school student is facing serious charges tonight, accused of threatening students with a knife. The Flat Rock High School teenager was arrested after sending a text to friends with this picture and the message, "I'm ready for tomorrow." Teens who received the text told their parents. They contacted police, and the 17-year-old was arrested overnight before school started. That student could face charges that range from a misdemeanor to domestic terrorism.
A 1-year-old boy recovering tonight after being mauled by the new family dog. The child and his mother were in the kitchen of his home on Muirland, which is near 7 Mile and Livernois on the west side, when the attack happened. The dog walked in with one of the child's toys in its mouth. When the boy tried to grab the toy, the dog attacked. The pet had just been adopted from a rescue organization 10 days ago. The fallout continues over the Michigan State Police Director's post about NFL player protests.
Colonel Christy Kibbe-Etchew shared a meme on Facebook calling NFL players degenerates for protesting during the national anthem. She has since apologized, but activists are calling for her resignation or for her firing. Even state senators took up the issue today.
She has the same First Amendment rights as do the players that take a knee during the national anthem.
We members are demanding that the leadership, the chief director, the colonel, be brought in, talked to, and ultimately should resign.
Governor Snyder has already said he will not ask her to resign.
President Trump unveiled a new tax plan today that promises to cut middle-class taxes and bring back jobs. It's the first major revamp of the nation's tax code in a generation. The $6 trillion plan would cut taxes for the middle class, simplify the tax code, and cut the corporate tax rate. It's not clear how it will actually affect taxpayers. There are also questions about how it will be paid for. Democrats say the plan is just a gift bag for the wealthy.
Vice President Mike Pence is spending the night in Metro Detroit. He arrived at the airport in Waterford this evening, then appeared at a Michigan GOP dinner at a home in Bloomfield Township. We caught video of his motorcade then as it was leaving. Tomorrow, he'll be meeting with Governor Snyder, and he'll deliver an address on tax reform at American Axle in Auburn Hills.
He delivered more than the mail, what a mailman was caught doing to a family's pets that has the post office investigating.
Also, another plane passenger removed with force after telling the airline she had a life-threatening allergy.
Don't touch me!
Why the airline says it had no choice but to remove her from the plane. Here's Ben.
Devin, plenty of sunshine is going to greet us when we step out the door in the morning, and so is the chill. Right around 50 in the city, but we'll break down these lows in your 4-zone forecast. A lot of 40s to take a look at coming up.
Okay, Ben, but first, some call it the largest white power group in the U.S., and the man behind it lives in Metro Detroit.
It is not about the uniform you wear, the colors you fly. It is about the color of our skin.
The Defenders take you inside hate groups for a look at how they are trying new ways to recruit.
Racial tensions running high across the country. From the NFL anthem controversy to a white supremacy group suing MSU, to the recent violence in Charlottesville. Law enforcement experts say hate groups are seizing the opportunity to grow membership. And one of the largest white power groups in America is headquartered in Southeast Michigan.
It's an organization the Defenders have exposed in the past. Kevin Dietz shows us how the National Socialist Movement is going mainstream to recruit new members.
Before the violence in Charlottesville, there was a push and a plan by a man from Michigan.
This is historic, people. This is really, this is something we don't see every day.
A Metro Detroiter who runs what many call the largest white power organization in America, speaking out here on a recruiting video.
It is not about the uniform you wear, the colors you fly. It is about the color of our skin.
He lives in this home on a quiet street in Roseville. His name, Jeff Scoop. He's the leader of the National Socialist Movement.
We are stronger than ever. We are rising.
On his Twitter page, he was promoting and recruiting people to go to the Unite the Right rally in Charlottesville, Virginia. We all now know it turned into a riot, resulting in death and multiple injuries. In the aftermath, Scoop tweets, "It was an honor to stand with you all in Seville this weekend." And true warriors. The National Socialist Movement is not new to the Defenders. In 2005, the Defenders went deep undercover.
Gotta get the glasses on, get the hat on, shirt from one of the past festivals. We're ready to go.
Transforming from reporter to potential new recruit in the neo-Nazi group. While in disguise and undercover, the Defenders attended this recruitment picnic in Cadillac, where little children danced and blew bubbles as hate music blared in the background. From there, we were invited to attend an NSM recruiting rally in Lansing, and then to a bigger one in Toledo.
We're on our way to a church in Toledo. The NSM, the National Socialist Movement, has asked for all like-minded people to head to this church. White power!
The rally in Toledo quickly turned ugly. Protesters, police, and neo-Nazis covered in tear gas as rubber bullets were fired at those refusing to stop the violence.
What you think? We're just gonna come out with a Coke and a smile and say have a nice day? It don't work like that.
Our final stop undercover, a trip to Kentucky for the National Conference. The message of hate was front and center as bands blared racist music, neo-Nazis gave speeches, and there was a celebration over a swastika burning. That was then. This is now.
You better understand that this is a war for our survival.
Jeff Scoop is still in charge, but has the NSM going in a different direction. Last year, he removed the swastika in favor of the ruin as its organization's symbol. This year's new recruitment video calls the NSM America's premier white civil rights organization.
We're not about hate, we're about love for our people.
Members have been asked to dress in polo or button-down shirts, cover up racist tattoos. Out is the term neo-Nazi. In is the term identitarians. Heidi Buddha is the Michigan Regional Director of the Anti-Defamation League.
They're not looking like people who are on the fringe of society anymore.
She calls it a marketing ploy people need to recognize and resist.
It is easier, especially for somebody who's naive, to get caught up in this new softer approach. And by the time they realize what the ideology is, they've already been indoctrinated.
Is Charlottesville a sign of worse things to come? Former Eastern District of Michigan U.S. Attorney Barb McQuaid says new laws addressing hate groups is long overdue.
There are a lot of good protections on the books to protect us against foreign terrorist threats. There are not so many laws on the books to protect us against domestic terrorist threats.
Today, the NSM is pushing for unity among all white power groups. They recently joined forces with a faction of the KKK. They called this year's conference the largest ever and showed no signs of slowing down.
And they cannot stop us. This is just the beginning. This is the start of the revolution for our people.
We put up a link to organizations that follow and track the movement of hate groups here in Michigan and across this country. We've also put phone numbers of law enforcement up that you can call if you have concerns. You can find it all at our webpage, clickondetroit.com. Kevin Dietz, Defenders.
All right, Kevin, that's a fascinating look.
Here's a look at what I'm working on for tomorrow night.
I think that skill helps you to see when other things aren't right.
They can be heroes on the open highway. Truck drivers spotting a crime that targets young girls and boys.
It takes a lot of people to stop what's going on right now. And I feel for families that have to go through this, don't know where their kid is.
Tell me about some of the crazy stuff you see on the road.
Truck drivers trained to spot sex trafficking, and one local company is a champion for the cause.
They have no problem putting themselves out there if you give them the opportunity and the tool to do so.
See how these truck drivers can really help stop this crime tomorrow at 11. I go on the road again.
I was about to say, I've seen reporters wanting to take part, but that looked like somebody who really wanted to drive, didn't you think?
Pretty much.
I did want to drive.
I thought so. Yeah.
It's a very serious story,
Yeah,
though,
no
and we want you to tune in tomorrow for that.
You bet. In the meantime, we have cooled off considerably from our record high temperature that we had yesterday.
Yeah, went home for dinner, opened the windows, and then noped out of that.
Enough of that.
Lasted about 5 minutes. We're in the mid-60s out there, and that doesn't seem all that cold, but compared to where we have been, man, what a drastic switch. You can see the 40s and 50s hanging out up here. We're going to get some of that as we get into tomorrow. In fact, when you see this 4-zone forecast for tomorrow morning's lows, it may have you rethinking what you're going to wear to work and school in the morning. Temperature change in the last 24 hours, not real dramatic here over Detroit. It's just 10 degrees cooler than what we were looking at yesterday, but you can see how much of the country has really been affected by this cold front. So a lot of folks with double-digit decreases in temperatures compared to yesterday. So how much longer is this going to go on? We decided to take a look at the 90-day outlook that's going to take us from October through December. National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, also known as NOAA, puts this out. And basically what this says is there's good data to suggest that much of the country is going to be above average. In fact, the data is a little stronger in these orange sections, which does include Michigan. What it doesn't tell us is how far above average we're going to be. So this may turn out to be a degree, may turn out to be 10, but let's hope we're not going back to the 90s as we head towards the heart of autumn. The sky on fire tonight out in Novi. This is the sunset picture we got on Storm Pins. Appreciate that shot. In fact, if you want to go check out Storm Pins, those cirrus clouds tonight that are still out there, can't see them now, the sun's down, but they made for some spectacular photos. A lot of folks caught those streaks of ice crystal clouds moving across the sky. Not going to see any moisture from these, at least in the short term, but we will as we get further into the forecast. And by the way, Maria's still hanging out off the coast, but has now started to make the turn. All the tropical storm watches and warnings have been canceled for the U.S. coast. So we've got cool air on top of us. We'll get through tomorrow dry. Little disturbance comes through as we get into Friday. 2 a.m. as we get into Friday, could see a scattered shower, and ditto for the afternoon hours, but it is not going to amount to much. Most of this forecast coming up is going to be completely dry, and it's going to be chilly too. Look at these low temperatures tomorrow morning, right around 50 degrees in the city. Couple upper 40s there, but especially further inland. Mid 40s in parts of Lenawee County. West zone lows starting tomorrow morning, 44, 45, generally the numbers there. And in our north zone, pretty much the same goes. So everybody's on the cool side of things, and we will warm up to 68. So very similar to what we've got out there right now for high temperatures tomorrow. It will be coming with a lot of sunshine, and we look pretty similar all the way through Saturday. Temperatures do warm up into next week. So if you like it cool, I think we got you covered in the short term.
All right.
All right, Ben, thank you. Well, it may be hard to believe, but America's Thanksgiving parade is only 8 weeks away. Tonight, the parade company held its annual Grand Jesters reception in Birmingham, celebrating 34 years of the Distinguished Clown Corps.
And this Thanksgiving, the Clown Corps will be led by business leader Van Conway. It is 8 weeks away, but we'll go ahead now and invite you to watch America's Thanksgiving Parade as you do every year right here on Local 4 on Thanksgiving morning. We'll be right back.
All right, breaking news just into our newsroom. Hugh Hefner has died. Playboy Enterprises just released a statement confirming his death. Hefner, of course, was the iconic founder and publisher of the magazine. He was 91 years old. Local news now. A teacher in Wyandotte is in trouble tonight for allegedly sending inappropriate text messages to a student. The principal at Roosevelt High School learned of the texting after a student came forward. The teacher has been suspended with pay as the investigation continues.
Take a look at the 3 men seen here. They are wanted for spray painting hate graffiti in Ann Arbor back on September 16th. All 3 men in their 20s. If you recognize them from the pictures or know anything about it, you're asked to contact Ann Arbor police. Charges have been filed against a woman who had to be physically removed from a Southwest Airlines flight in Baltimore. The 46-year-old woman noticed there were 2 dogs on the plane. She claimed that she was deathly allergic to dogs and asked that the animals be removed. Well, instead, the flight crew asked the woman to leave over concerns that she could have a reaction of some kind during the flight. Well, when she refused, officers said they had to forcefully remove her. She's now charged with disorderly conduct and resisting arrest.
Animal lovers won't like this story. Surveillance video shows a postal worker using pepper spray on 2 dogs. He was delivering several packages to a home in Mississippi when one of the dogs ran up barking. He sprayed that dog in the face and dropped off the packages, but then sprayed that dog again and another one off camera several times before driving away. The dog's owner reported the incident, and the Postal Service is now investigating. Well, here's an odd one out of where else but Florida. A shark bit a man and refused to let go.
Happened over Labor Day weekend, but the video only now showing up and going viral. The man was in the Gulf of Mexico fishing when a small nurse shark bit him on the stomach and held on. After 30 minutes, after, yes, a half an hour, his friend had no choice but to stab the shark to get it to release its grip. The man is fine with the scar to prove a wild fishtail. 30 minutes?
That's
really? You're going to let
friend.
this go? Yes, my goodness gracious.